Back on station. Good work.
Nice.
My bad, Carter. Damn, I didn't know you was coming in like that, bro. Shit, let's kill this one. My bad, Carter. Damn.
You've got time for another bout. Get it done.
We'll get green over there, y'all.
Enemy UAV overhead.
What part of weirdo ass that? He is blue. Oh.
Hot dog.
Stand by for redeployment.
Like Jackie Chan.
You're in the top here. Knocking them down. You've got 10 squads active in the field.
Oh, I had this plan.
Get to the safe zone. Hostile UAV. Enemy UAV is online.
Everything got reversed after we heard from President Trump. And now, Tylenol, the company that posted in 2017.
Hostile UAV. Target down. Marking the rest of them.
That boy keep his head over here, y'all.
You have reinforcements inbound.
Watch out.
Remaining operators.
Hello, Heart.
Hunt them down. Your squad mate is redeployed. Well done. Strike on 2-2 inbound. Commence run.
Hey, what's up, squad?
Marking the rest of that squad on your
Carter
tag.
Can I get somebody?
All
What's up? What's up?
the KIA. Well done. Back on station. Go get off.
How much you need? How much you need, Carter? Carter, I'm gonna knock him.
Enemy
Do your thing.
UAV overhead.
No, you did. Right here. That's none of that, Carter. Down both sides, down both sides.
What? Oh my god, bro.
That's wild as shit. He came up right behind me.
Soldier incoming.
Man.
Enemy
That was motherfucker sit on my shit.
Squad mates back on station. Good work. Squad's in the safe zone. Gas is inbound. Squad mates redeployed. Well done.
Why just let me do that?
My nigga.
Couldn't even break up in there.
Bro, god damn. Y'all niggas so ass, bro.
Don't show yourself stupid before you die.
So this whole time I'll make smacks of the craziness of the days of ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, and it is just ladies.
Early shift to the front. Early. Squad mates back on station. Good work.
Let's be reasonable here.
You have reinforcements inbound. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV is online.
Man,
You need your squad mate to come help. Why don't I have my mic out like that?
Reinforcing armor.
That's the first. I need the clip out.
President Trump gave it a final sanction earlier today. But really what he's done is give the left the thing that they've always needed in that victimhood Olympics, the ace of spades. He's given them their martyr. Investigative journalist Matt Taibbi joins me next.
Allergies got you trying every trick? Grab Zyrtec for total relief. It works fast and lasts a full 24 hours. What are you waiting for? Go seize the day with Zyrtec. She's really getting up there. Yeah, she is. Don't feel your age. Act your age. Ask the cream.
Ruck up. You're headed to the war zone.
Mind if I crash the party?
Protecting my heart.
Enemy soldier incoming. Threat line's over. Now you deploy to the war zone. Resurgence. Survive.
Oh my god, sorry. Oh my god, bro. Jesus, put me with a good team, bro.
Brilliant effort. Keep your head up and return to base at T3.
And was splitting rent, which you talking about that I should pay for the whole thing? Absolutely. Hold on. $200 million deal and you was splitting rent with your ex-girlfriend? Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? To write this shit? 200 million. I'm not gonna write 3 grand, bro. Okay, but look. She's killing herself to make that, to make half. And then she always with you. Look, I wish you could make that happen.
Hostile UAV in the area. Enemy UAV overhead. Clear another target during contract timeline. Primary objective complete. All targets eliminated. Total 45 seconds. Out. Enemy dropping into the AR. Got 10 squads active in the field. Get ready. Redeploy. Marking the rest of that. Target down. Marking the rest of that. Your squad mate is redeployed. Well done. Hostile UAV in the area. shot. Weapons free.
How the company moderates content, and the company's consistently fought against those efforts on multiple fronts. Also this conversation as well, right over the head of copycats.
Friendly loadout drops on the way. Enemy UAV overhead.
And then there's I'm sure he's a black kid. He's just different, says one of his jokes. I don't think that this jokes. This was a TV show. This was a pandemic. And myself and years going out about this pandemic. There was a lot of
Hostile UAV in the area. Back on station. Good work.
Something tells my next guest is going to disagree with those journalist and publisher of the Twitter files, Matt Taibbi.
Only 4 left.
In a way,
5 squads still operational in the AO.
God damn.
think about the 3 big internet platforms. Google, Facebook has already made the mission through Mark Zuckerberg censorship of a variety of big 3, but I think the most sweeping and broad action of the 3 underwent repeated and
Squad is outside the safe zone.
Twitter, Facebook, joke content wars were removed, memes were removed, the White House halls. And they're complaining about it. For a couple of days. Like, it's not even close to the same thing. They're not even in the same ballpark yet. And the branding of garments is beyond me. That was close. Is a First Amendment martyr. By the way, thank you. Excellent. All right, coming up. Is it time now? I have a conservative voice to step out bravely with
Enemy UAV is online. You have reinforcements inbound. Spy fail active. Spy station point. Enemy UAV overhead.
UAV available for tasking.
Hostile UAV in the area.
UAV standing by.
Good airstrike available.
Just like that.
Resurgence is about to end. Make it count. Enemy UAV online. the AO. Fire fail's done. Prices are back to normal. Still going. Squad mates back on station. Good work. Precision airstrike standing by. Copy that one, but everyone's on station. Strike inbound. Yeah, okay. Correct hit.
You want to feel great about your skin? Get ready to go from this to this.
TACOM, we're flying on fumes. UAV returning to base.
For a decade, Crit creates by flying first is a revolutionary system designed to
Squad's in the safe zone. Gas is closing in.
delivers the results that it promises. That's why it's the #1 selling anti-aging body treatment system. Because it makes you feel collagen. Skin whitening, pages.
Hostile UAV in the area. Supply crates have been restocked. Low.
Comes with our 60-day money-back guarantee. That youthful, healthy-looking, gorgeous skin that you think you lost is waiting for you. Crit Grace is how you get it back. This incredible offer is not available anywhere else.
Bro, come and raise me, El Gongo.
Squad to the safe zone.
Fuck are you doing?
No one behind.
Fucking idiot, bruh.
I think there's a lot we don't know.
Every single word that came out of Calvin Candy's mouth was nothing but bullshit. But he was right
find this boy.
Yeah, you never say nothing to Shaq. I mean, you always say everything to Shaq. You don't say nothing to Kobe. And he said, because of this team, we always beat Kobe all the time. And then that immediately made me think about my training percent my Jordan Shaq. And so it was exactly what our team needed.
I'm going to ask you a question again, and I want you to remember that you're talking to the girl's father. If I was just wondering how'd you get in here?
Resurgence.
What the fuck?
In other words, we're doing essentially intelligence gathering against people that
Not
are
bad.
crimes.
This is only a minefield. Shake it off.
Oceans of money for these drug bosses. This is something I to run against old world. We still do it, obviously, against Chinese, Russians. You need now, clearly, a really all hands on deck approach to prophylactically protecting the people ahead of time that we're asking to do this legal work. Legal, no matter what Newsom says. Secondly, real quick, we need a domestic terrorism law. We don't have one. We use that phrase very, very commonly, very, very blithely. We say, oh, this is domestic terrorism. Everybody thinks the box is checked and that's it. Both sides of the aisle have problems with a domestic terrorism law. Reasonable minds can disagree about this, because both sides are worried about it being weaponized against them. That comes from the designation piece. Donald Trump's designation of Antifa, if nothing else, doesn't have much operational effect, but nothing else, raises the issue. What do you do when you have a domestic group that is essentially dedicated to overthrowing or counteracting violently the policies of the American government, legal policies of the American government? We don't have much of the capacity for that, and that's why if you look deeply into it, Mangione, right? Ideological murder. You know what they had to charge him with federally to get that charge in? Stalking. And it's thin stuff, okay? And it's a really unique use of it. Realistically, if they do the same thing for Tyler Robinson, they're going to have to do something similar as far as I know right now. So we don't have a domestic terrorism law. It's time to take a close look at that. I have a piece dropping on Friday on Fox News website that delineates how I think we need to do it in a safe way. But we're kidding ourselves if you look. Crooks, Ruth, Mangione, Tyler Robinson, Shapiro's fired. That was a lefty. ABC, the guy shoots up ABC studios because he doesn't like the way the Kimmel thing went. We had this guy that stepped into a wedding in Nashville. All of this is coming ideologically from one area. Eventually, do we have nuts in the right? True, of course. Eventually, you're going to get them. But right now, we're in the season of real leftist violence. It is something that we call domestic terrorism. We don't have the mechanism. If I was sitting where Congress is now, I'd like to see somebody in Donald Trump's staff say, crack the whip, let's start to look at this, because Congress has been in my head on this.
Jessica, you've never called ICE agents fascists or Gestapo, Nazis. You've never done that, but there are people in your party that have done that. Do you think that's responsible?
Listen, I think that fascism and fascists is a very special category of people, and you should use it when it's really applicable and sparingly, because then people will believe you when you say it. And it has become too common to hear words like that, and that is a both sides problem. And last week we went through a litany of times that Donald Trump has used that rhetoric, and the fact that he came out after Charlie Kirk's tragic assassination and said the radical left did this, and then we heard a chorus of "we are at war," and that does permeate the entirety of American society, that they hear that from the top. We don't
That's
know that
garbage.
much.
That is absolute garbage.
It is
Continue. When something terrible happens, when somebody gets murdered, you are saying, how dare you be enraged by it? Continue.
No, what I say is how
There is no, I'll give you the both, no, Jessica, I'll give you the both sides. I agree with you, there is both sides. On one hand, you have the hard left, and on the other hand, you have the left. They're the both sides of the same coin, because you walk into this room, and you're not reading it. There is no both sides. You don't have the evidence for that.
That's not true.
You can't say that Donald Trump says this. You guys act on it. You guys act on it. We don't.
Hello?
What do
Hello?
I want?
Hello?
I would like to talk about the
Oh,
specifics of
nobody
who
here?
Vance
Hello?
Coulter
Hello?
actually was, since we fought about that last time. Because you make it out as if this was just, that he knew Melissa Portman.
Let's focus on this thing now. I'll destroy you on that later. But focus on this now. You want to go back?
Focus on this now. This looks like a kid that was inflamed either by the leftist cabal, or maybe he used his own eyes. And maybe he saw what's going on. Maybe there are people in his community who are being picked up by people from ICE. Maybe he saw raids at Home Depot. Or maybe he did hear J.B. Pritzker. He seems like a Morning Joe viewer to me, right? Someone who had tuned in, saw Hillary Clinton, and then went out and grabbed his gun. The common denominator in all of this is that we have
Hello?
article that people are
Then
writing on
them.
casing
Then them. What?
anti-ice, they think that it's a
My
joke.
socks?
You look at Tyler Robinson's text messages with his
Oh, I thought
roommate
this was
and
my socks.
partner.
Okay.
It
Then
reads
just
like
no.
a joke. They just wanted us on Fox News to have to be able to read that stuff out loud. They even said it in the messages. So I get it. You're amped up. I don't think that I said anything worthy of
You
that
say-
level of explosion.
Your rationalization of both sides, you have to understand. Since Kurt's death, there is no both sides anymore, Jessica.
Why did the DOJ take down the study that showed how much right-wing extremism?
What study was that? Which one? The one in The Economist that was sponsored by a group run by a guy in Antifa? That study that has been discredited by the Federalists? You're walking down a really bad alley right now. Yes. Yes. I actually did see, Jessica, I did the deep dive on that study. That study was authored by a project that was run by a guy who says he was an Antifa. That is why that whole thing has been scrubbed, okay? It's real simple. You label someone a fascist or a racist or a Nazi, it makes you free to attack them, and that has been the ideology from the start. It's weird.
So why?
No. Let me talk. What?
Tell me why it's okay.
No, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Great. I'm enjoying this.
Okay. You won't be for long. The left calls Trump a hate monger. They've called me a hate monger because I ridicule the left. I ridicule protesters. I ridicule academia, Hollywood, the news media. I make fun of the View every day. I make fun of the UN. Guess what? No one acts on the things that I say because my side doesn't do that. We say people are stupid. We say people are wrong, but we don't say they're evil. That is your game, okay? And then you come and you say, okay, man, this is a mentally ill loner. Well, who do you think does this stuff? It's not Ben Affleck. It's not Tom Brady. It's not even Carrot Top. People who do this stuff are always that way. The question is, who points them in that direction? Why pick ICE? Why pick Kurt? Why target TV stations and put bombs under Fox trucks? Why vandalize memorials? Why kill kids in Catholic schools? Two things can be true. A person can be mentally ill, and you can be guiding him to that place in his life. That is how brainwashing works.
There is a litany of examples that
You will not have them. If I gave you 2 months to look for them, you couldn't find them because they've been debunked.
Really?
You have one thing. If you want to talk about,
Alice's son has been debunked. Dylan Roof has been debunked. Van Folder and his list of dozens
we can
of
talk about that, but
Go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, you want to talk about it?
I do.
Okay. There was not a relentless drumbeat for 10 years about his victim like there was here. There was an intent and a motive for her killing by her killer alone. It wasn't five. It wasn't Nash Review. It wasn't any show going like, you know what? We need to go after this fascist. Hopefully someone will take her out. That never happened. That is why your analogy is so pointless and desperate.
Pipe bombs being sent to Democrats' houses. People saying in court, I was inspired by Donald Trump.
You want to do this math, you're going to be embarrassed.
Brown people. According to you, I'm embarrassed every day, so frankly, I'm just feeling normal. Thank you.
We should do this every week.
I honestly, first day of the week with Greg seems to go badly for me.
Well, you don't come in here with both sides.
It's not.
It's like going into a funeral and saying, hey, let's have a kegger.
Well, sometimes you should just celebrate the life.
Dana, is it always like this?
You should see when I get going.
All right. Up next.
Low-rated martyr returns. Jimmy Kimmel is back.
This program is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And Doug.
Are you here for Tracy?
We're here for everyone. Mimo and I help people save hundreds by customizing car insurance with Liberty Mutual.
We ordered a limo, not a limo.
Oh yeah, we do that too. At your service. Only pay what you
testing leads to questions. JP Morgan Wealth Management has powerful tools, research from expert analysts, and a single view of your banking and investing accounts right in the Chase mobile app. When you want to take control of your financial future, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
My eyes, they're dry, looking for hydration. Link NutriTears is a once daily supplement clinically proven to help your eyes produce more of their own tears for lasting, continuous relief. A different way to support dry eyes. Thanks for calling Consumer Cellular, ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction. Hi, my friend Linda has you guys and gets way better coverage than I do. Sounds like Linda has you beat. Not at bowling. You're breaking up a little. Are you really ranked #1 in coverage? Yep, and plans start at just $20. Oh, we can afford lessons for Linda. You're embarrassing yourself. At least my phone works. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage satisfaction. Call or visit Consumer Cellular today.
In every pour of 4547 Patriot Edition whiskey, you taste more than whiskey. You taste freedom. Crafted to honor the patriots who built this land, protected by the warriors and the first responders who guard it every day. Forged in the makings of history on the road to a greater tomorrow. Now the fastest growing new whiskey in the country. Raise your glass to tradition. Raise it to heroes. Raise it to America. Built by patriots for patriots.
If you want to find your customers, you're going to need some top shelf data. Let's go. This is a third-party data party.
Are these my customers?
Probably not yours. Definitely not him. Shall we? Now this is what first-party data looks like.
Comcast Advertising doesn't just access data. We own it, giving you the most accurate audience insights from over 30 million Comcast households.
For over 2 decades, Frank's Collision Repair has been the trusted choice for quality auto body work. As the largest independently owned collision repair center in Texas, we're proud to stay family owned, while others have gone corporate. With 9 convenient locations to serve our customers, we're here when you need us, bringing you the personal service and expert care your vehicle deserves. Get back on the road with confidence. Visit frankcr.com.
Before the breakthrough, before the recovery, there's a moment when science meets humanity, driving excellence through discovery, collaboration, and care that changes lives.
You'll be okay, sir. At UTMB Health, advancing the health sciences is more than our mission. It's our promise to every student, every patient, and the world.
The University of Texas Medical Branch, caring for our community.
Said you came along, you filled in all the spaces, erased all of the traces of the broken man I used to be.
Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air after a 4-show suspension, but dozens of affiliate stations, they refused to carry it, and it's all over his false claim that Charlie Kirk's suspected assassin was part of the MAGA gang. That's a line that he didn't apologize for last night.
It was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. For those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever. The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
So some members of the media giving Kimmel's return a very glowing review.
He showed his humanity, and he showed compassion, and even though he didn't say, I apologize, I think he did offer a significant amount of regret. His tone was just perfect.
He doesn't really want this to be about him. He has been thrust into this bigger and frankly more consequential role. He is acting tonight, and I think he will act in the days to come, as a bit of a public servant, as an educator.
I read that but hadn't heard it until just now. Jesse, what was your review?
Well, I didn't see it. I read the transcript, and it wasn't really an apology. He did point the finger at us for killing our friends. And so a lawyer wrote it, he read it, and then he just laid it all out for everybody. Is it enough? Maybe. Are the affiliates probably going to come back? Probably. this guy doesn't have the juice to go to war. He's in third place. He has a staff of 100. What does Greg have? 13? He's getting paid $15 million a year. He's already probably lost a quarter of his advertisers. And I don't even think Disney's going to renew his contract. He's not good for business. And we all have to remember, this is show business. And this is network show business, where they have the public airwaves, where you have to have standards of conduct, profanity, indecency, news distortions. All of those things are under a regulatory atmosphere that companies like Disney have to navigate so they can make money for shareholders. Because Jimmy Kimmel is not the man. Family Feud, a rerun, tied his rating the other day. It cost nothing. It was a rerun. It was already paid for. So, if these affiliates don't want to absorb this mess that they're getting inundated with emails and calls from locals and advertisers in their markets, they shouldn't have to. And this is the market telling Kimmel to just chill. And I don't care whether he keeps his job. I don't care whether he has a show. He has a right to say whatever he wants. He doesn't have a right to a job in network television. And for the liberals that are complaining about censorship, they loved it when they were pressuring the FCC to drop Fox and to investigate Sinclair. They loved it when Joe Biden pressured all the big tech companies to censor us over a joke about Fauci or the Fauci ouchie. So I don't listen to what they have to say. Jessica's probably going to blame Trump. It was Bob Iger who suspended him and then unsuspended.
You mentioned the 5 to the Family Feud.
I
It
would
would be
love
so
that.
good, and that would be great. In the New York Times today, Bret Stephens, columnist, he goes through a list. You know how you like lists? It has so many of these stories. I don't know if you saw it, Jessica, but these examples of when the left loved this type of thing, and I'm sure you disagree, so let's give you a chance to
No,
share with us.
I have not seen Bret Stevens's list. I do know that all administrations work with social media companies to take down what they see as, disinformation, misinformation, and that happened, at the peak of COVID when Donald Trump was president. But I think the difference here, and if there were liberals pressuring the FCC, did it actually work? Because that's what we saw happen here. And Brendan Carr is
Sinclair
trying.
didn't get their licenses renewed for a bunch of affiliates.
Brendan Carr, tried to backtrack when he said, "Oh, I didn't really mean to sound like the mafioso," as Ted Cruz put it, and did the little accent. And as always, Donald Trump comes riding in and makes it clear as day that this was government pressure, posting on Truth Social before Jimmy Kimmel came out. I can't believe he has his job back. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. In the process, Trump has basically made Kimmel unfireable at this point. Disney, even if his ratings go down to 3 people watching it, will not be able to do it because now he has become the lightning rod, the symbol, the avatar for this fight about the First Amendment and government overreach. And I think it's important as well that we just saw before we came out here that it looks like Jim Comey is going to be indicted in a few days. Donald Trump on Truth Social. Let's get rid of Eric Siebert because he doesn't want to bring charges. We'll get someone in there who will. And lo and behold, we're going off, checking off our enemies list. It's all part of the same puzzle.
Paul, Kimmel said some nice things about Charlie and Erica Kirk, and I don't know why he couldn't just say, "I made a mistake when I suggested the shooter was a Trump supporter." Like, what would that? Why would that have disappointed the left?
I mean, isn't that the crux of the argument? I said on the air one time, I misquoted something by 2 percentage points. I said that there were the percentage of long gun murders in the country was less than 3%. It's actually less than 5%. I barely slept, all right? It was on your show, in fact. I was mortified. This guy came out and said, it wasn't humor. This guy came out and said, MAGA did it, and it was just wrong, and he just seems to feel no compunction about it. If nothing else, if you want to get dragged into the politics, we understand it's in your DNA to be hyper left. Fair enough. But you know what? If nothing else, apologize for getting a backbone. I mean, again, as Greg would say, read the room. A couple of things real quick. Colbert's show lost about $40 million, right? We've all heard same thing. You go back to even Letterman, all right? I remember when Bill O'Reilly was on Letterman, he treated him appallingly. My question is this: when was it decided on all the major networks, the networks, by the way, that have a government license, when was it decided that they all have to be hyper-left? If you're going to invoke the First Amendment as part of your argument, well, then even the playing field, give us one, because Greg's on cable. So, that's how that had to happen, because the networks won't touch him. So, while I don't like government interference relative to the First Amendment either, because as I always say, there's a reason it's first. It's the most important thing about our system, really is. If that's the case, you can't have it both ways. And I just don't understand when that switch was flipped, that they all have to be far left. And when we say, no, give us one, we're the ones who are trampling on the First Amendment. Those are really fun.
Greg, it's your take I've been waiting for all day.
Well, the one thing I noticed from just listening to the thing this morning is when Erica Kirk said she forgave the killer because that's what Jesus, Charlie, and a true Christian would do. Kimmel was like, cool. Can I have some of that? Sure. Maybe if you admit why you need forgiveness. It's weird to deny wrongdoing and then ask for forgiveness if you did nothing wrong. It makes no sense. And he said it was never his intention to make light of this murder, and then he says Trump can't take the joke. That's a bit weird. And remember, this stuff is prepared. It's like prepared by a lawyer. This is not off-the-cuff stuff, just like the stuff he said earlier was not off-the-cuff. It was read by producers. Yet the media embraces him. Oh, look how brave, how amazing, a lightning rod. Yeah, maybe for henpecked pussies. But the fact is, the stuff that they're saying about Kimmel, they never said about Charlie. Their praise after his death was perfunctory. So they take something real, like a true martyrdom, and they turn it into this performative fakery. Charlie Kirk was brutally murdered before millions. The ultimate denial of free speech. The media creates a diorama, over Kimmel's 4-day suspension. What silly children they are. Meanwhile, Google admits that Biden's White House pressed YouTube to censor COVID content. Biden's actually jailed a guy over a meme. And meanwhile, and you see the media, go into Spartacus mode because a left-wing millionaire didn't work for 4 days? They're clearly upset about that, but they're not upset about the silencing of millions of Americans during COVID. What does that tell you? They don't care about you. That's why they're dying. Metaphorically.
Yes.
Or literally, because we're all dying.
But since the day you're born.
Yes. Isn't that sad? Way to bring the house down.
Stick around for the next one. All right, up next, Democrats will not be burdened by what has been in summer trashing Kamala's, quote, gossip book.
Baby old man, make you wanna roll your window down, stick your hand in the air, let the night wind blow through your hair. Keep on running.
After my fall, when I was recovering, my doctor recommended Boost. Today, I'm back out on the ranch working and riding again. A real comeback deserves a real boost.
At Ameriprise Financial, we know our clients are so much more than clients. They're conquerors and champions. And what matters most to them matters most to us. It's no wonder we have a 4.9 out of 5 client satisfaction rating. Ameriprise Financial.
You understand how dangerous this is?
They are twisting everything. Whatever we do, we should do it with attitude.
We pay tribute to Charlie Kirk, and we celebrate the tremendous good he did in his life. Charlie courageously advocated for the sacred principles of freedom, constructive discourse, truth, family values, and common sense. He taught with humor and wisdom, and backed up his beliefs with data and facts. He set a powerful example of reaching out and talking to those who disagreed with him. We mourn his passing, but what he taught us continues to resonate with even more power. A message from all of us at Riverbend Ranch.
This October 5th to 7th, join us for the Flags of Fellowship. Show the world that Israel is not alone.
For a house of God to put the Israeli flag outside, it says we are willing to stand up, to stand with the state of Israel.
By participating in the Flags of Fellowship, we're going to be very clear and bold about our support for Israel.
This is the moment that you show the new congregation, yes, you respect, support,
This is the moment. This is the moment. They deserve the right to be who they are. And the more lay this stuff out, I put it on the side. Is that when they see us voicing those facts, they feel supported and they also feel proud.
Tell the Jewish people in Israel and around the world that Christians in America stand with them. You can be part of this historic movement. Learn more by going to ifpj.org today.
When you're ready to begin treatment for chronic lymphocytic leukemia, Calquence helps you do the fighting, and you can do the exploring. You can do the splashing, the sightseeing, and the playing. Calquence is an oral targeted therapy for CLL. More patients begin with Calquence than any treatment of its kind, and Calquence is proven to work better than chemoimmunotherapy in patients with previously untreated CLL. Calquence can cause serious side effects which may lead to death. This includes serious infections, bleeding problems that may increase with blood thinners, decreased blood counts, new cancers to other organs including skin cancers, heart rhythm problems, and liver problems. Tell your doctor if you have flu-like symptoms, blood in stool or urine, fast or irregular heartbeat, dizziness, feeling faint, chest discomfort, shortness of breath, stomach pain, dark urine, or yellowing skin. These are not all the possible side effects. Use sun protection. Calquence may harm an unborn baby. Calquence helps you do the fighting, and you can focus on the things you're loving. Ask your doctor if Calquence is right for you. The Lumify Effect. One drop dramatically reduces redness for brighter, whiter-looking eyes that make you go, wow. Lumify works in 1 minute and lasts up to 8 hours. See what all the hype is about with the one and only Lumify.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought we'd have to use life insurance with Ethos. It is so fast and easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage.
Check your price today at ethos.com.
48% of Americans don't get enough magnesium, which is vital for bone, nerve, and muscle health. I recommend Qdol's Magnesium Glycinate. It's formulated for high absorption and is gentle on the stomach. Qdol, the brand I trust.
At 5:29 p.m., staff alerted me that the British singer-songwriter Charlie XCX had posted, "Kamala is Brat." Brat was the title of her latest album and identified me with her brand. Edgy, imperfect, confident, embracing.
Wow. And she didn't win, huh? That was Kamala Harris terrorizing the eardrums of Americans with the audiobook release of 107 Days. Democrats are said to be privately complaining, calling it a gossip book that isn't helping the party move on. Well, Kamala's media blitz won't be burdened by some critics of her party. The next stop was Joy Reid's YouTube show.
It struck me in the same way that when I read Prince Harry's book, it struck me. This question of loyalty. And loyalty that sometimes doesn't feel like it's returned. I really did not fully embrace the reality of how people felt. And I should have. I will confess to you, I do not have all the answers, Joy. Yeah. I mean, part of my reflection is that I don't have all the answers.
A lot of emoting there. Dana, this feels like a PR stunt. What is she really doing here? What's with you?
Well, this is a typical book tour. I mean, they have a robust plan, and they're getting out there. What does she want? I guess she wants to have some sort of writing in the history books that says she was a genius, and she wants it on record that in her mind this was the closest election in presidential history. Whatever. I don't know for sure. There's probably some statistics out there that helps her show that. But this is a situation where every nugget is less interesting than the one before, and I hope she got a healthy advance because I don't think it propels her to run again. I don't think it propels her to sit on a bunch of boards unless they're like mercy boards. She'll be on the mercy board for some people. She's a flash in the pan. She is being rude to everybody that helped her. There's no who is she helping? Who is she right? Who is she thinking of for 2028? No, she wants to burn all those people down so that she can preserve the right. But no one's going to give her money. They're not going to pay for the book. They're not going to pay for her to run again, which is going to waste $1 billion. Just one point on the Joy Reid thing, because I just heard that, and it came to me that. So Joy Reid thinks of your loyalty. Now I can see where Kamala Harris is kind of mad at the Bidens, and in a way I think she kind of has a right to be, because the Bidens expected all this was doing her own undermining. But don't ask me. Ask the 101 staffers who went on the record to say her office was a disaster. But there's also another part of loyalty aside from the inside the White House. When you have won the presidency and the vice presidency, your loyalty also extends to the constituents and the voters of this country. And even if they didn't vote for you, that's where your loyalty lies. And so now we know that she knew that Biden was slipping, and she didn't do anything about it. And she said she thought it was a reckless decision that he ran again. But knowing what we know now, that Otto Pan was president, and she had an obligation, and the loyalty should have been to the voters of this country.
Yeah, we lose sight of that. So Jessica, I come to you as the opposite pole of this thing. You're behind enemy lines. So let me ask you, I mean, is this going to help her in any way, or is it just like nothing but anger inside the party about this?
I feel like it's a little bit, at least for now, of a swan song. I don't think that she's obviously not running for governor of California. I don't think she thinks that she's going to be running in 2028, and I think that she wanted her own voice, quite literally, on the story of what happened in the election, because all of these different autopsies are being written by, different groups, and the ones who are saying we got to do more of this, we need to do less of this. For me, and I have not read the book in its entirety, but from what I have seen, what is lacking for me is kind of like a vision for the future, or this, ideas about what we can do better. It is a memoir of the campaign, and so it's reflective. But I think that at a moment where people are kind of hitting her for not showing tremendous leadership, like if you wanted Pete Buttigieg, you should have taken Pete Buttigieg and gone with it. You have 107 days anyway, kind of YOLO, right? And
also incompetent. People forget about that.
I feel like
thanks for reminding that. Anyway.
So, Jesse, you said the book made you cry. So tell us about it.
Kathy loved it.
I loved it. The expectations were so low for the Kamala Harris book because she couldn't talk. You'd think she couldn't write, but she can write, and it's the kind of writing I like. It's like a political page 6. It's all gossip. She talks about tampons fat. I know. Finally, someone said he's fat. Do you know what Doug's nickname was with the Secret Service? Playmaker. Awesome. They made her make animal noises to get her throat warmed up for debate prep. Imagine Kamala Harris making animal noises.
They did that as a joke, too. The prank.
She did it. You know who convinced Kamala Harris to run for president? Lawrence O'Donnell. So we can all blame Lawrence O'Donnell for Kamala Harris. And she also attacks Brett Baer, which I totally agree with. The guy, sure.
I stood up and applauded when I read that thing.
Go, Bill, take us out. Come on.
Well, how do you know it's so full of BS? So I started reading it, and every single anecdote, she quotes herself perfectly. And with subjects and verbs, which is really out of ordinary. And every one of her quotes, she's always the most sensible person. The one, everybody around her is confused or anxious. It's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Oh my God, I think it's going to die. And she goes, why don't you just take a beach towel and make a tourniquet? Oh my God, you're saying this like, everything's like that. She's like, always got the right answer. Never believe people when they quote themselves, because they're the least reliable. And you can, and once you see it in the book, on the second page when it starts, it'll drive you crazy. I get it. You write a book, you are the central character in the book, and you want to present a sane, clear voice. But her book voice is not her voice. That's why you like it. Right. That's not her. That's somebody else.
Right, but it's definitely more enjoyable than listening to Kamala Harris.
Who do you think wrote it? Come on. Jessica, you know who wrote it.
What do you mean?
No. Who wrote it? Lawrence O'Donnell?
No. Maybe she had a collaborator.
You wrote it. Yes, you wrote it.
How much, Jessica? How much?
This is my last day on the phone.
All right, we gotta go. Up next, escalator gate ramps up. Was President Trump sabotaged, or was it a scam? Bum, bum, bum.
You deserve the best. Performance, durability, affordability. Only one place does it all. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. 10 straight days of incredible deals going on now through October 1st.
It's everything.
Feeling good is everything. I take Balance of Nature. I have been for a couple of years. I love it. I'm so happy with it. It is that good.
Get 35% off your first set as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Claim this offer by using discount code Fox News. United Healthcare knows you've got your whole life ahead of you. Whatever comes next, you can count on United Healthcare to be there with reliable Medicare coverage.
When our country used to flex its muscle with battleships like the USS Iowa, the world would listen. It's time we return to the American Ironman. Hi, I'm William Devane. There are dangerous forces everywhere pulling our country apart, threatening our economy and our way of life. That's why I'm going to do two things: support our military and buy gold from Rosalind Capital. I've never felt safe relying on paper money to protect my assets. That's why I buy gold from Rosalind. With Rosalind, what you order is what you get. No gimmicks, no nonsense, no hassle. We're all safer with our ships patrolling the seas. And my assets are a whole lot safer with gold from Rosalind Capital. So ask yourself, are you safe?
Call now to get your free gold, silver, and IRA kits. For a limited time, Rosalind is offering up to $15,000 in free gold to qualifying new customers. Call 800-630-8900. That's 800-630-8900.
With a CLL diagnosis, there may be moments that seem unclear. But when it's time for treatment, one thing is clear. Brukinza. Brukinza is an oral targeted treatment for CLL. It's the only BTKI proven to be superior to both another BTKI and chemotherapy. Most patients have long-lasting results and no disease progression. Brukinza can cause serious side effects which may lead to death. Bleeding problems are common and may increase with blood thinners. Serious infections may occur and cause fevers, chills, or flu-like symptoms. Decreased blood counts, new cancers such as skin cancer, and liver problems may occur. Heart rhythm problems such as fast, irregular heartbeat, lightheadedness, fainting, shortness of breath, or chest discomfort may occur. Tell your doctor if you have bleeding, infections, heart problems, or any other side effect, or if you are or plan to be pregnant or breastfeeding. See your future clearly again with Brukinza. Ask your doctor about Brukinza, the CLL treatment that keeps you in control.
The recipe for a long, healthy life? It starts with gently cooking our food to give your dog the nutrients they need without the ultra-processing. Get 50% off your first box only at thefarmersdog.com.
Tommy Copper's shoulder support bra will be your new favorite.
I love how I feel when I wear it.
Available in 2 styles you'll want to wear every day for all-day comfort.
I'll take all the help I can get.
The bra you've been waiting for.
It's my secret weapon for more confident posture.
Tommy Copper will have you feeling confident and comfortable all day.
Why would I wear any other bra?
Upgrade your bra. Go to TommyCopper.com and buy one, get one free today.
Boost memory and clarity with Force Factor Ultimate Magteam. Clinically studied magnesium L-threonate, the most powerful form of magnesium for brain health, also helps improve sleep and reduce stress. Rush to Walmart and find Force Factor Ultimate Magteam today.
It's midday. Action man in Sydney. I don't mess about. I make it duty job.
Was it sabotage for a staffer? The UN is pointing a finger at Trump's team for a stalled escalator and a frozen teleprompter, blaming a staffer for walking up the escalator backwards. Yeah. They also suggested another Trump staffer was behind a prompter malfunction, Jessica. So you have people blaming the UN, others blaming Trump staffers. Couldn't it be both sides?
Absolutely not, and there's no study to back it up. Also, I was missing at that time yesterday, so who knows what I was doing.
That is true.
sensitive that somebody walking backwards somehow turns it off is ridiculous. But if it does do that, talk about another waste of American money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they spent our money on because, of course, we fund a quarter of the place. Look, I'm going to quote, I want to get her name here, Susan Crabtree, who's on X. She follows U.S. Secret Service stuff very closely. She's one quote story about a service member who was very blithe about the Kirk assassination. She makes the point that the service didn't really react wonderfully. The thing froze. He's standing there. It makes him more of a
She should have
target.
wrestled the escalator to the ground.
They got to come and, cover around him, and they didn't do that. You wouldn't understand. So they didn't react how maybe you'd like them to. I'm not sure the service is still where we'd like them to be, despite a couple of recent wins, like with Ryan Group.
I can't remember. Did I talk to you already?
No.
Okay. What do you think?
I don't think it doesn't strain my imagination that this could happen at the UN, especially when Caroline Levitt found that article in the Telegraph and said that they were thinking about it. However, I also think it's possible that coincidences happened and it was a problem. But the fact that the elevator, escalator, and the teleprompter at the same time seems weird to me. But I also feel like it's a bit of a distraction. And if I were at the White House, I think I would drop it for now because President Trump had a great UN. He went after the entire institution. He went after them on energy. He supported Zelensky in Ukraine. He supported Bibi, Israel, and Hamas. And I thought the energy stuff was great. Immigration stuff was great. He had a great UN. I think this story, I would let it go, even though it's annoying.
Jesse, you're doing a whole 2-hour special on Fox Nation on this.
I am, and you know what I think?
Yes.
Due to the UN.
Yes.
Write a strongly worded letter.
Fast is up next.
Years of hard work. Decades of dedication. Committed to giving back. You've been there, done that, and you're still here for more. So now that you're 50 or older and at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia and IPD, be proactive with Capvaxive, a vaccine specifically designed for adults to help protect against pneumonia, an invasive disease caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive is the only vaccine that helps protect against the strains that cause 84% of IPD in adults 50 or older, compared with up to 52% by other pneumococcal conjugate vaccines. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Whether you've had another pneumococcal vaccine or not, ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive.
This could be the greatest opportunity of my life, and it comes with danger.
Well, I bet ain't nobody seen that coming.
Tulsa King, new season, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
When investing leads to questions, JP Morgan Wealth Management has powerful tools, research from expert analysts, and a single view of your banking and investing accounts right in the Chase mobile app. When you want to take control of your financial future, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
I speak in the name of the Black Blue God. This kingdom is ours. Nobody is going to take it from us.
If you have Christ, all the other stuff is over for. Who are you?
I come from heaven. If you seek this child, you'll never see peace.
That's what I'll be fighting for.
Tonight on the Ingram Angle, the two Ks are making the comeback tour that no one wanted. Kimmel and Kamala. The details tonight on the Angle.
I'm Congressman Wesley Hunt, and as a West Point graduate and Army combat veteran, loyalty means a lot to me. In the last 6 years, President Trump has endorsed me 3 separate times. So when President Trump declared his campaign for president in 2022, I endorsed him the same night. Other Texas politicians waited to support President Trump until after he was shot. But I knew that night that Donald Trump was the only person who could save our country from the brink of disaster. I'm Wesley Hunt, and I approve this message.
Most homeowners have it somewhere in their house. It's that one bad window. It's drafty, or maybe it sticks or leaks. You'd love to replace it, but things
free window and door diagnosis. Call 281-789-1515.
Welcome back to Defend Your Assets with Jack. Caller 1, hit me.
My job site keeps getting hit at night. No Wi-Fi, no power. I'm about to sink my truck bed.
Buddy, no need for that. Defend My Tacticam runs on its own power, locks onto the strongest 4G signal, and needs no Wi-Fi. It's tougher than a $3 steak. It works anywhere. Job site, back gate, boat dock, you name it. If you've got signal, you've got security. Check it out at defendcellcam.com.
Welcome back. French President Emmanuel Macron dialing up President Trump after 47's presidential motorcade blocked him in New York City traffic during the UN General Assembly.
I'm sorry, I'm the president. I'm really sorry. It's just that everything's in frozen right now. There's a motorcade coming right.
Guess what? I'm waiting in the street because everything is frozen for you.
Dana, what did you think?
It's my favorite. I love it. It's like, it's so New York. It's so America. It's also it's just like a moment that you kind of need in this. It's the worst traffic. It's horrible. And you know what? It affects everyone, even the president of France. I love that he's got the cell phone. I was like, Mr. President, can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? And I would imagine that President Trump's like, should I?
Jeffy, I liked it for the humanity aspect. Like, you know, the Us Weekly, they're just like us.
Yeah, I'm just like this too. I'm always thinking that I'm more important. So like when I'm trying to come into Fox and I'm running late and there's like some sort of blockade on the street with an officer there and I roll down my window, I say, I'm with Fox. I got a show in like 5 minutes. I gotta go. And they never let me through. And I never called the president to lift the blockade. And if I did, he'd probably answer and he'd probably lift it. That's what's so great. Not from a crone.
Greg?
You cut off at the best part when the cop says, "Hey, are you the guy married to the dude?" And then he goes, "No, that's Mayor Pete." So the guy was a little bit confused. Yeah, very confusing.
Charming as always. Paul?
Jesse, they never let you through because I put the order out. I love the fact that this cop was probably making $80,000 a year or whatever, has to fill a pressure. Very, very, one thing that's right about, my PD, especially if you work in Manhattan, you have these moments. I once had to tell a very, very wealthy Arab sheikh that I don't care what you say, through an interpreter, the ambulance is taking you because you didn't want to go to a Western doctor. So the other thing I say is, you know what? I don't think many of us see Europeans in a hurry anymore, and that you don't see too often. So if I was Donald Trump, I would have said, well, what's that? Yeah, listen, I'm stuck on the escalator. Click.
It is weird. I mean, how many people also saw Macron like trudging through the city because he had to walk for a while. Yeah, when he was going. All right, one more thing is up next.
Dave Portnoy is known as the founder of Barstool Sports and is known for his sharp commentary and down-to-earth one-bite pizza reviews. Dave created the Barstool Fund during COVID and raised $50 million to help small businesses stay afloat.
We have a sales speech on Staten Island.
Probably look like the print. It means a lot to the Thomas Towers Foundation that you've taken your time to help us.
It's a cause that resonates with our audience for sure. Like, it really doesn't matter what your politics are. With the military, these people are serving our country and they need help.
These great heroes, they're willing to risk it all for us. And our first responders who go out every single day. I say, they give their kids a kiss goodbye. And how many times they don't come home? Tom Towers Foundation made a promise we're going to help every single one of them in America.
The United States is so much better than every other country in the world, and the freedoms that people take for granted that would not happen. People risk their lives for this country, and that's who you support.
We ask for $11 a month.
$11 you have a full pie, you're good to go. You skip one pie.
You skip one pie, and you help a hero and the family that are left behind.
Yo, and every dollar matters. What worked with the Barstool Fund? They knew they were giving us money, and the money was going right to the businesses they wanted to give the money to.
People knew where the money is going, and we're 95.1% of every dollar that is raised goes to our great heroes.
Yeah, and that's a huge part. I did all the research. I've known about you guys. You checked out, by the way, against Staten Island, all the people. I can show you my phone right now. So he's the only honest guy there is.
I want to hear what you rate the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Right, which is always high pressure when I'm sitting right next to the guy. can contribute $11 a month by going to T2T.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
When I got diagnosed with skin cancer, it was right under my eye. I was told that surgery was the only option, and I did not want to get cut open on my face. I asked my women's group to pray for me, and one of the other ladies told me about the procedure that her friend had, and it was gentle cure.
If you, like millions of others, are affected by skin cancer, it's important to know that surgery isn't the only option. There's another choice, Gentle Cure. Gentle Cure uses low-energy X-rays to kill cancer cells with a 99% cure rate. Plus, there's no cutting, no surgical scarring, and no downtime.
I had no pain, I have no scars, and I'm cured. Amazing.
To learn more, call today or go to gentlecure.com.
$600 a year. If you're 50 plus, you could save up to that much by switching 2 unlimited lines from Big Wireless to Consumer Cellular. And you've got the same reliable coverage, so why don't you pick up your phone while I take this hammer and... I can't feel my feet. See how we can cut your bills. If you're over 50, get 2 unlimited lines for $30 each. Call Consumer Cellular.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought we'd have to use life insurance with Ethos. It is so fast and easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage.
Check your price today at ethos.com.
He says that his 3 friends posed to attack.
Why was Jordan the only one that didn't start it? I think there's a lot we don't know.
Frozen Kingdom, streaming now on Fox Nation.
Time now for one more thing, Dana.
Well, this is something that I saw in Spain that I thought was just so charming and funny. So there's this cat sanctuary in this little town, and everybody in the village helps take care of the cats. And there's a sign, and I just happened to look up, and this is one of the lines. It says, "Keep your dog on a leash. Running after cats can harm them or threaten your life." So that's very serious. They take it very seriously over there.
Oh, those Spaniards. Yeah. Right. All right. Tonight, 10 p.m. Catch him. Michael Loftus, Rick Grinnell. Out of the closet and out of the cabinet. Hey, Tyrus. We have time to do this? Yeah, sure. Animals are great. Animals are great. Animals are great. I know what you're saying, Dana. I want a Chile military dog parade. Well, here you go. This is Chile's annual Day of the Glories of the Army parade to celebrate the country's independence, and they do it with little puppies. Then they'll be trained to become drug or explosive detectors. Oh, I don't like that part. They shouldn't be exploded. Anyway,
That's very scaring anybody in Latin.
I joined the military for that.
We got volcano action. Do I have an Nexio for my volcano action? Yes, I do. Let's see it. No Nexio? Okay. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano could not be stopped. Look at it spew, Greg. Look at that thing spew.
Oh, my God.
All day and night long. Tonight, Jesse Waters Prime Time, we have Governor Ron DeSantis, Katie Zachariah, Charlie Spearing, and Clay Travis, 8 p.m. Jessica, you got 10 seconds.
My friend Lauren Edgar is one of the newest astronauts in the NASA class, which is majority female. And congratulations.
You go, girl. Take you with her.
Yeah, no time for my next year.
Hey, Jesse, I was really looking forward to that Nexio. Sorry to miss that. All right. Good evening. I'm Brett Baer. We are coming to you tonight from Fox News World Headquarters in New York. Breaking tonight, we're following 2 major stories. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky issues a stern warning over Russian aggression expanding in Eastern Europe. We will get reaction here in studio from Finland's President Alexander Stubb just moments from now. But first, an investigation is underway in Dallas after a shooter armed with a rifle opened fire on an immigration and customs enforcement facility. 1 detainee there was killed, 2 others were wounded. No ICE agents were injured. The suspect then took his own life. President Trump says he was briefed on the deadly shooting. Authorities on the ground say ammunition found at the scene is providing
motive. Correspondent Brooke Taylor is on the ground outside that ICE facility in Dallas with the latest. Good evening, Brooke.
Hi, Brett. Yeah, officials say that this is the result of dangerous anti-ICE rhetoric that only encourages violence and has to stop before more people are killed. The FBI says that anti-ICE messages were found on rounds near the shooter here. 3 detainees were also shot. Officials say the sniper shot from a nearby rooftop and opened fire indiscriminately on the entire ICE facility, including a van in that Sally Port. So what we know, these 3 detainees in that van were struck. 1 died and 2 others are injured. According to ICE, no ICE agents were shot or hurt. Officials say the shooter, who sources identify as 29-year-old Joshua John, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
We found bullets throughout the entire building that had punctured into the facility, targeting the entire ICE facility.
And you could see bullets even struck this framed American flag in the facility. This is the latest in a string of targeted attacks on ICE facilities in Texas. A man was arrested last month for making a bomb threat against this same facility. In July, a group ambushed officers outside a separate Texas ICE facility. 1 officer was shot but survived. Officials, including Vice President J.D. Vance, say this kind of rhetoric must stop.
You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell.
And the acting ICE director says that assaults on agents are up by 1,000%, Brett.
Brooke, thank you. Now here to the UN. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warning the United Nations today that Russian aggression is spreading beyond his country, making a plea for weapons modernization. The conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East taking center stage at day 2 of the UN General Assembly. Senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich is live in the North Lawn tonight with that. Good evening, Jackie.
Good evening, Brett. It is still not clear what conversation or piece of intelligence convinced President Trump that Ukraine can take back their whole country and, quote, maybe even go further than that. But President Trump raising his fist to Russia comes as a relief to NATO, which recently held an Article 4 huddle over more Russian jets in Allied airspace.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio on the sidelines of the UN, reiterating in private to his Russian counterpart what the administration is broadcasting to the world.
If the Russians refuse to negotiate in good faith, I think it's going to be very, very bad for their country.
President Trump's new belief that Ukraine is positioned to fight and win back all of its territory is a 180 from this.
You don't have the cards.
And it came about, Trump says, after taking a hard look at the military and economic position Russia is in, suggesting in a Truth Social post that people of Russia have no idea what's really going on with the war, and calling Russia's military a paper tiger. The Kremlin's response:
Russia is not a tiger, it is a bear, and there was no such thing as a paper bear. So, Russia is a real bear.
But even Peskov admitted, quote, certain tensions and problem areas in various sectors of the economy, which he framed as a global issue. Trump's energy secretary says the U.S. is ready to go all in on sanctions as soon as Europe is off Russian oil.
I spent 6 days over there meeting with European leaders, assuring them we have the capacity, we're ready to serve their needs, and President Trump's agenda is peace. And to get peace, we got to starve Putin.
Trump's big warning yesterday that Russian planes in NATO airspace should be shot down echoed throughout Europe. From Poland's foreign minister, Roger that. His Estonian counterpart, we got it.
Putin, the Russians should take the message from the president. He's not messing around. He's incredibly serious. The Iranians learned painfully that he will use sticks as well as carrots.
Trump indicated time is on Zelensky's side now that NATO is buying weapons from the U.S. for Ukraine.
The American taxpayer